What is up, guys? Jonny B here again today, and I'm going to be bringing you a video on this 2020 Toyota 86. It's got a JDL turbo kit. It's already tuned. It needs a little bit of supporting mods, so we're going to be doing that today. We're going to be upgrading, or actually installing a Verus AOS, which is an Air-Oil-Separator. With that, you know, it's kind of like a catch can, but at the same time, it gets the engine breathing into the car, and then whatever oil it catches, it actually sends it back into the block, so you don't have to worry about draining it. And then also the oil cooler. So the oil cooler is a big thing that's needed when you're boosted, and you want to make sure, at least in these cars, that your oil temps are always good. Our cars tend to run a little bit hot, especially on the track. So with an oil cooler, and here in Arizona, where it gets really hot during the summer, it is a must for us. And obviously we're going to be running thicker oil as well to be able to you know, mitigate that heat and make sure that our oil doesn't break down. So we're gonna go ahead and start. Let's get it. Let's open up this engine, see what bay looks like. Wow, it's looking super good. Man, nice and clean. It's looking super good. The car literally only has 12,000 miles. I don't know how long it's been boosted, probably like 2,000 miles. It's on K-Sport. So the first thing that we're gonna need to do to be able to install the oil cooler is to remove the bumper. So let's get it on the lift, get the bumper up, and start removing every single clip. Since it's a new car, it's gonna have everything. So here we have the boxes of the parts we're gonna install. We have the Perrin Oil Cooler Kit for the BRZ FRS and 86, because they're the same thing. And then we have the Virus Air-Oil-Separator over here with a nice little mount that's powder coated. Looks like you got it in the black. You can get these in various colors. So yeah, let's go ahead and install the oil cooler first. Seems to be the easier piece, at least for me, since I've done it quite a bit. And we have the bumper off already. This is most likely gonna go somewhere over here near the battery. So we gotta figure out how that goes still, but I've done the oil coolers multiple times, so those are super easy to do since I know exactly what I'm doing. This I'm gonna learn. So we're gonna need an extra quart of oil pretty much for the oil cooler, because that's what's gonna fill that up. So this new Perrin oil cooler is actually really cool because it comes with a CSF oil cooler. So these are like their new gen oil coolers where they're like extra tough. And we're actually getting some of this for one of our personal builds with me and my brothers. And it's cool to see that Perrin went from the Trab over to the CSF, which looks a lot more beefier and it's much thicker as well. And they come with like some really nice like mounting plates that you can like flip around and kind of like, you know, design to wherever way you're gonna mount it. So normally the Perrin oil cooler is designed to sit like kind of in the middle, but with an intercooler, that's not a possibility. So with the JDL kit, this intercooler actually tends to sit a little bit this way. You can see in the headlights. So it gives me just enough space to put the oil cooler here on this bottom platform. And I stick it in all the way until the fins where they end, because anything past that, it's not really necessary. What's gonna be getting the air is from here to here. So getting that to line up was nice. And then on top of that, there's like this line here you can see where the bumper usually tends to interfere. So I'm lining up this piece with that, and then right on the side, look at that. The way I mounted this Perrin mount a little bit awkwardly from where it's supposed to go, but look how it just fits flush. It looks so good. This is actually a nut there. It's a threaded hole. So with the bolts from the bottom, that's what's gonna hold this oil cooler in place, and it's gonna look super good. So now that we got the oil cooler all installed, both lines come up through here and they mount right into the sandwich adapter. That's all set up. You're gonna wanna add another quart of oil, because that's what that takes to fill up. Make sure you're not running low. So we've topped that off. And now to go ahead and install the Verus AOS, we remove the battery, we remove the little plastic trim that's under there. We remove the PCV valve, which is right there. It comes up with a little hose up to this connector here on the intake manifold. So whether you have the plastic one or you have this aluminum one, it's always going to be the one on the passenger side. So you have the driver's side fitting, and then you have the passenger side one. So you just go ahead and remove this. It comes with a supplied cap and like this clamp. So cap that off, because if you don't, and you're running boost is gonna just leak out of here. So that's why we're capping it. So now that's gonna be one of the connectors, and we're gonna mount the Verus bracket in this area. So let's mount that up right now. So we got it all installed. So I'm gonna show you here, because I was learning at the same time. There's this 10mm bolt nut that needs to be loosened, and then there's one underneath the battery tray that needs to be loosened as well, and it bolts to this bracket. And then you have 3 Allen keys that bolt to the back of the Verus catch can. And then you have 4 lines that have to come out of the Verus catch can. So depending on what setup you're running, this should work. The first one right here goes to where the PCV valve was, right underneath here, right there, you can see it. Then this second one, the one that doesn't come with a fitting, you put the PCV valve that you remove off the block on that, and that comes with like a little adapter that switches it to a bigger hose, and that hooks up to this part of your intake manifold. So whether you're boosted or NA, that's usually the way to go. The PCV valve is gonna help stop the boost from going back into the catch can, but the vacuum is gonna work. So the 2 center ones are vacuums. So this next one that's to the right of the PCV valve is gonna come all the way over here and hook up to your intake. In this case, we have this intake on the turbo itself. If you have a regular intake that's in this area, you can hook it up to that. You can see there how this hose kind of goes connected there. It goes under there, and it goes all the way to this one. And for this last one, it goes all the way under there as well, and it hooks up right underneath the AC compressor. There's a connector right under there. So you have to remove the AC compressor to get to it. That has 3 14mm bolts. So there's one right there. And then you have 2 on the front side. You have that one there, and then that one right there. So once you remove the AC compressor, you can go ahead and get to it. Obviously, don't disconnect the AC lines. You can just move the compressor out of the way without disconnecting the AC and, you know, bleeding your Freon all over the place. I saw somebody else connected it with a Y. So from this fitting here, these 2 middle ones were connected with a Y. The kit doesn't come with a Y, and I don't have one, so I had to hook it up this way. So this works for both the NA and boosted setups. The PCV valve is going to stop boost from actually going into the catch can, but it will act as the vacuum as well. So another way you can run this is actually plugging this fitting here, which the kit actually comes with a plug, and then hooking up those 2 hoses to a Y, which just hook up to the intake. All right, so now that we're done with the oil cooler and the catch can, now the next step is gonna be to put the bumper back on. But before we do that, we gotta delete the emblems. Let me show you guys what I mean by that. So here's the bumper. It's got some rock chips on it, and it's got, I think, like some damage over here and whatnot. It's scratched up underneath because of it being a low car. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna repaint the whole bumper. We're gonna primer the whole thing, and then we're gonna delete this emblem. So when you delete this emblem, you can see here that there is kind of like a divot. So then this would be visible if we remove the emblem. So what we gotta do is we gotta fill this area in and smooth this all out. It's gonna take quite a while. I'm gonna use some fiberglass. It's called kitty hair to fill that in so it's nice and strong. And then we're gonna go ahead and bodywork it with glaze, primer the whole thing, and then see how that comes out. So I'm gonna get on that, and then I'll show you guys the finished product. So here we are the next day with the Emblem Delete. Can you even tell there was an emblem there before? Take that completely apart. Obviously we left the lines, the little body lines that kind of match up with the hood. You want to leave those, but you do want to delete everything else. So yeah, bumper's looking great. Now we're gonna go ahead and put the grill and the little fog light covers on it. So there we are. The car is now 100% complete with what we needed to do. The bumper is back on. We got the grill. We deleted the little like grill piece here that blocks the oil cooler. So now the oil cooler has full flow. The emblem is gone and it's looking super nice on the car with no emblem. The paint came out really nice. The color is matching like almost 100%. It's really hard to get like the perfect color, but it's right on there. When you see it in person, you can't tell the difference. And the oil, the oil cooler was done, the catch can was done, and now we're just waiting on the customer to come pick up his car. The car is looking amazing. So that's gonna be it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and as always, you have a great day.